Okay. If no more question, we will discuss the last topic about the site survey. This is the last topic, and this one is very important because when we deploy the AP in the real devices, we have to do the site survey. And also you have to use some AP to detect the places is okay for us to deploy it, the signal area is enough for us or not, something like this. So the first one, we have to confirm the requirement of the customer. And the requirement indicates the primary requirement. What's the key area of wireless coverage? And pay attention about this part. We suggest and we hope that our AP can coverage all the area, but this one will take a lot of APs. So we have to know what's the key area of the wireless coverage and what the RF application needs. The VoIP, high traffic downloading location exactly. The next one, the type of facility and client devices. What's the type? And another one, additional customer requirement we also have to focus on. Then we have to identify the customer facility requirement. We will use a single floor, multi-floor, or campus. And if this one is a campus, we will deploy indoor or outdoors. And we have obtained the digit floor plans from the customer. And about the physical requirement, we have to provide the power resources, understand the cable consideration. Because maybe we will use a PoE switch to provide the power for AP, we have some limitations than 100 meters. If there and the places of wired network, you also have to know this one. And the mounting consideration, breakers or ladder, and also places for additional APs. So this is a prepare if we want to do site survey for the customer network. And another one for the initial AP deployment design, we have some principles. About the indoor scenario, we have to consider the coverage principles. The first one, here are two key principles when we do the search surviving indoor. For example, like the room meeting for the campus, like the hotel. The first one is we have to avoid the program and an AP cover a number of floors at the same time. This is the first one. The second one, the wireless optimization needs to be considered after the site survey. This one also is very important. And another one for the different scenario, indoor coverage type can be divided into two types, one for the user capability and another one for the radius of coverage area. And we have some suggestion here. If the user capability is less than 30 or bigger than 30, and the radius of the coverage area is smaller than 40 meters or over 40 meters, for example, if the number less 30, the coverage less 40, some similar scenario like the family, bar, coffee house, meeting room, something like this. This one you can then make to become one part. And another one, if the coverage area is small, but we will have lots of people like the classroom, huge office area, and so on. If the places is big, but people is less, like the hotel and office building, and the places is bigger and also have lots of people, like the stadium and the hall scenario. So we can divide the type to become 4 types. And one customer want to build a wireless network, and this is a physical picture of the devices, of the places. For example, this is a hotel. We have some office room, we have some lobby room, and the meeting room, something like this. And then we can use one AP and to do the indicator. Different color maybe have different signal, the weak, moderate, and the strong. and one AP, and we will use different number, 28 user capability, and the range is 20, and the each signal is dash 70 dBm. And if 20 users capability and the other coverage and another places, the capability is less than 50. So we can use different number value and different range to indicate this one. And the next step, maybe we can find what's the edge point, and the signal maybe is very poor. And then we can add more APs here one by one, and then to indicate again, which, for example, like these places, and each room the biggest user, and we suggest to deploy 3 APs here. And this is a location. And after we add the 3 AP here, finish do the site serving, we also maybe to use the optimization and to improve the experience also to make the network better. And finally, this is the site survey report, and to show you what's the range. And the green one and the yellow one, that means the signal also is okay for us to use the wireless. And another one, the possible issue may be arise in this scenario, in the indoor scenario. The first is the coverage. Maybe the coverage area is too small. Then we can increase the AP quantities. One AP is not enough. We can increase multiple, for example, 3 APs. And another one maybe is the user compatibility. I cannot support to connect lots of users, and we can adjustment the channel. Different AP use different channel, and then to avoid the influence. And the co-channel interference. And we can change the channel from 2.4G to 5G, because about the 5G we can use 13 channels at the same time. And maybe we have some unknown applications. Our solution is notice not deploy private Wi-Fi in our network. So this is some issues and the solutions. And about the outdoor scenario, the coverage principle. For example, here is a school, and we have a big places have to deploy the wireless. The principle is the first one, there should be no obstacle in the area of the coverage. And the RSSI value should be greater than -75 dBm. And the performance of wireless network should meet the customer demand. And about these places, maybe the coverage we should very big, but the user is less. And this is the first one, how to design the AP places. And when we do the site survey, there also may be some risk assessment. The first one is signal coverage. Like this one, if the custom type is operators and user of the education sector in the school, and the signal assessment is -75 dBm. This is the smallest signal. And the remarks is, since the entertainment applications is the main application for users, and the user location is flexible, so the signal strength can be basically meets the acquired requirement of the user. That means your signal is over than -75 dBm is enough. But about the signal of teaching equipment, maybe in your school classroom, it should be greater than -70 dBm. And we can use the mobile phone, the app of Wi-Fi Moho, and also maybe in your notebook, we can use wireless mode to do the test, to test the signal. And another customer type in the government or financial sectors, we suggest the signal insensitive for -70 dBm. And the application is more important. It is necessary to pay attention to the quality of signal coverage. So these are different scenario, and we suggest different values. And about the user capability and the traffic requirement of application like this one. The user capability for each radio, like the video game download, the maximum stations will support 20. But of less traffic applications, such as a web browser handled applications, we can suggest to connect 30 stations. If the associated user is many, but wireless network is not used, the maximum station is 64. And another one for the excessive number of single rooms, such as the school library, confidence room, we can handle the mobile terminal is an important access terminal. We can concurrent terminal does not exceed 100 units. So this is the requirement based on the user capability and the special traffic. We can provide to give different suggestions for the maximum station number. Of course, maybe one AP's coverage is enough, but the compatibility of the user is not enough. We also maybe try to establish the more AP in the scenario, but you have to change the power, right? Otherwise, maybe they have some influence. This is the part when we talk about on the optimization. And about the RF interference, it's very necessary to check that when you deploy the AP in your network, there is a microwave ovens or maybe larger base stations because they were working in the same band, and this is a big interference in our network. And we also have some solutions maybe to avoid the connection, to avoid the location with these devices. And the last one, after we finish the site survey, we also have to determine the AP and generate a report for the customer. For example, about the generate report, we have to include the WLAN list and what's the location of access point, and maybe when we do the POC test and we find some risk assessment, and everything we have to add onto the report and then to the customer. And here is a page, maybe you can get the report and also to download it and then to the customer. So that's part about the site survey. Do you have any question or problem about this part? Of course, you have to detect the rogue AP in our network. And also, this is a training topic we can discuss independently, how to detect it and how to avoid it. Because about this AP will have a big influence for our network. Thank you. Okay, if there is no more question, let's have a brief summary of this training, okay? If you join the first day training, before we talk about the detail, I show you the topology, right? And I say after this training, I hope you can establish a simple network like this one. We divide the network to become wired network and the wireless network. About the wired network, the first basic one is all the devices should get an IP address, right? So first topic, we discuss some basic of the IP address. What's at the beginning, we use the classification IP address, and then we use the subnetting. What is IP address? What is the mask? And what's the function of the gateway? And later, if all the devices connect with each other of the terminal, if the distance is over 100 meters, we have to use new devices to connect with each other. These devices we call a switch. So we explain how to work of the layer 2 switch, how to receive the frame and forward to the message out according to the MAC address table. And the next step, maybe your network will be very big, and we want to limit the broadcast domain. The technology we use is VLAN. And in different VLANs, the message can forward it out only in the same VLAN value. So after we add the VLAN, all the switch for the message not only considered about the MAC address, but we also have to consider the VLAN information. Then the next step, maybe we want to make the network more, we can see the detail. We want to make the network more stable. So we add the new link and make there, if one device is broken or one link is broken, we still can use the other devices. But here maybe we'll have a loop. So how to avoid loop and also can get the redundancy function of the link of the devices, we have to deploy the STP. And then if on the core switch or maybe distribute switch, we want to use all the link, all the bandwidth together and avoid loop 2. In this scenario, we will use the link aggregation, right? And then if the access switch also want to use both uplink layer and forward traffic out, and we will have a technology we call it VSU to combine two distribute switch together and to be a logical interface. And then the devices can be forwarded out. If one device is broken, we still can use the other devices. And another one, if in your network you have lots of terminals, or maybe in the wireless network, how to allocate the IP address for the terminal, we will use the DHCP. And then all the terminals fit the destination, we will use the gateway. If one gateway is broken, these segment terminals cannot forward the traffic out. So improve the high ability for the gateway, we will use the VRP technology. And the next part, if in your network you deploy the layer 3 devices like the router, like the layer 3 switch, how to forward the message into different segments? We need the routing table. And how to make the routing table? We will use a direct route, static route, and a dynamic route to make the routing table get all the routing information. And one dynamic we talk about the OSPF. So that's all in your local area network. All the terminals, all the network in the same segment or not, they can directly use this technology to communicate with each other. And if you want to visit the internet, we will use the technology ACL to protect our traffic, to limit some transmission. For example, station 1 cannot visit station 2, but can visit station 3. We can use ACL to control with each other. And if you want to visit the internet, we will use the technology of the net. Divide the IP address to become private and the public, and then to force the traffic out. So this technology we call it the net. And then if you deploy all the technology and you master all the principle of this technology, I think some smaller, medium, even the bigger network, you can do the configuration and also do the troubleshooting is better because you know how to work. And then if in the wired network, you want to add the wireless part, we talk something about the basic. What's the type of the wireless and how to encapsulate the message, why the speed is different. We talk something about the wireless basic and the AO2.11, right? And who can help us to forward the traffic? The important devices is AP, access point. About the AP, we also can divide it into FAT AP and FIT AP. The FAT AP can work independently to help us to forward the traffic out, but we have to do the configuration one by one. So in bigger network, we suggest to use the AC and the FIT AP together. And we also discuss the principle and the key configuration of the FIT AP and AC. Then how to improve the network function better. For example, when the user is roaming, how to visit the internet and make the traffic stable forward out. We will deploy the roaming. And then we have to do the optimization to make the network better. For example, also is roaming to avoid the roaming stacking. Then we will provide the road WLAN redundancy. If one device is broken, we still can use the other AC to reach the internet. And we will have the hot backup AC and also have the VAC technology. The last one, if you want to deploy the AP in your network, we have to do the site survey before we deploy the real devices to get the best places to apply the AP. So that's all about the 8 days and each day 3 hours we discussed together. And I will thank you so much to join the training and we can discuss lots of information together. So about this training, do you have any questions here? Do you have any questions about this training? No more question? And about the training recorded video and material, I will send the email to you. So please focus on the email of the Ruijie account. And I will provide the link. We will update the training video on the YouTube of the Ruijie office website. So please focus on it. And in the future, if you have any question or want to know the principle of each link, you can see the video. And also I will provide these training materials to you. So any question for you about this training? Yes, if no more question. And last one, I hope please click the link and to do the evaluation on this training. I hope in the future about the training, we can make better and make better service for you. I want to get more suggestions of the training, includes the material, includes the arrangement. Thank you. Please click the link and write on it. And last day, later we will send the recording to you on the email. And of course, if you don't receive the record, please contact the post seal of the region. I also will send this information for them and to let them forward it to you. So please focus on it. Thank you very much. Thank you, every guys, to join the training. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I hope if in the future I have the public training, I also can see you again. Thank you, guys. Please click the link. If you finish to fill in the link, maybe the training is stop here. If you have any suggestions, please write down on the Slack group or maybe connect with your post CEO. They also will transfer your suggestions to me and I will give you the reply. Thank you again. Thank you very much to join the training. Bye bye.